for those of you who are not in the stock and are thinking about it, please don't do that. Please do not do that. Please do not FOMO into this stock. You're going to get burned. You're going to be bag holding. Please do not FOMO into this. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And if you enjoy my content and want to support my channel, please check out my Patreon. And just a reminder, I am giving away this Xbox Series S. The contest ends on Friday. If you want to enter the contest, check out the video, link in the description down below. Alright, so here we have Ocugen, ticker OCGN. It is up 23.76% today. Amazing, amazing. Now, there's probably a few reasons why this happened, which we'll get to in a second. But, straight up, you guys should sell. Where have we seen this before? Over and over and over again. GameStop, AMC, Microvision. When you get involved in these battleground stocks, and the thing runs up so high and short squeezes like this, and some people are going to argue, oh, it's not a short squeeze. It's a short squeeze, okay? Or at least a gamma squeeze. You have to expect some pullback. Even if you're really bullish on this, I don't see why you would keep holding this. Why wouldn't you take profits, wait for it to pull back, and re-enter at a lower price? I keep saying this, and I don't know why the bulls just keep holding on. Do you guys not like money? I don't get it. I don't get it. So we see here, the RSI is at 81, and anything above 70 is considered overvalued and overbought. Everybody should be using the RSI tool. Every single investor. It is such a simple tool to use and to learn, and it's so effective. All it is if it goes above 70, you should consider selling. If it goes below 30, you should consider buying. That's it. That's it. That's the whole RSI. Like, it's that simple. So now we see Ocugen is at 81, which is getting into pretty overbought and overvalued territory. So what would I recommend at this point? And this is not financial advice. You should dump. And I would say, usually I would say like, well, maybe sell half and hold on to the other half and let it ride. No. Dump all of it. Sell all of it. Again, not financial advice. This is just my opinion. But we've seen this, right? We've seen this over and over and over and over. Do you guys really think this thing is going to keep running? I mean, maybe it will for a little bit in the short term. Maybe tomorrow it'll keep running. Maybe the day after. But very, very soon, this thing is going to come crashing down. I just don't see how even the most bullish of bulls can not think that this thing is coming down. This is common sense, right? Right now, it's sitting at 15.68. Kind of at a resistance at like 15.85. If it goes to the upside, the next line of resistance would be the high of 18.77. And if it goes past that, well then no one can really say where it's going to go from there. At that point, it's uncharted territory. The market will decide for itself. Now, if it goes to the downside, which I'm predicting it will, I would say that the next point of support would be at around 1350, then it would be 1250, 1080, 965, 770, and then 530. Don't think it's going to go below 530, but if it does, then the next one would be around 330. Nobody really, well, on the subreddit, on Wall Street Bets, there's not too much technical analysis going on, right? It's a lot of fundamental stuff, a lot of speculation, a lot of research, but technical analysis is half of investing. You have to look at the charts. It's easy to get caught up in all this hype, the hype train, and it's gonna moon and all this and that, and we gotta take a step back and be rational. Look at the chart and read what the chart is telling you. The chart is telling us right now that this is pretty overbought and overvalued and likely coming down soon. But that's just my opinion. So I would say sell. You guys can hold if you want. But I think if you're bullish or bearish, you should sell everything right now. And if you're bullish, get back in later. Anyway, let's move on to the DD. Early this morning, before the market opened, about 2 hours before the market opened, Ocugen comes out with this. Ocugen announces studies showing Covaxin potentially effective against 3 key variants of, we'll call it the CV. So their vaccine, Covaxin, is potentially effective against 3 key variants of the CV. Speculation. And you guys know how I feel about speculation. This is good PR. This is exciting news, good hype. But I would not read too much into this. But I definitely do think this is the biggest reason why that the stock moved up so high today. This good news probably caused a lot of initial buying, which then triggered a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze. That's just my opinion. So if this news didn't drop today, not quite sure how Ocugen would have did. But it's up about 24% today, running real high. So let's just take a look at their website really quick. So it says, our mission is to develop gene therapies to cure blindness diseases and develop a vaccine to save lives from the CV-19. So Ocugen is currently developing this vaccine, Covaxin. A lot of people are excited about this because obviously it has a lot of real-world applications, and this has a lot of potential to do a lot of good and make a lot of money for investors. All right, so summary, it's still in development. This vaccine has not been released yet. It has been approved in a few countries down here. In Guyana, Zimbabwe, Iran, India, Myanmar, Mauritius, and maybe a few others, but this has only been approved by the official governing authorities in a few countries. It is still in trials in a lot of other countries, including Mexico, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Uzbekistan, Hungary, Ethiopia, Malaysia, Philippines, Oman. Not really any Western countries that this is approved in. It's a lot of Asian countries. So there's a lot of hype about this and hope, speculation, because this has not been released yet. This has not been mass produced and released to the public. Now let's move on to some DDs from Reddit, from other people. So I'm going to see what they have to say and give my opinion on it. Now, before we get into this, full disclosure, I am not a medical expert. And a lot of this was a gibberish to me. And I'm going to try my best to break it down for you guys. But it's a lot of medical stuff that's way out of my league. People like the Covaxin vaccine because it is an inactivated vaccine versus activated vaccines, which the more popular vaccines that we're taking now are. It's in phase 3, so it's almost done with development. And it has an 81% efficacy. So I guess that's not as good as Pfizer and Moderna. I think those are like 90 something. I think J&J was like 80, 85 or something. So it's like around the same as like the J&J vaccine. And another bullish argument is that this was tested in 12-year-olds. It's for children. This guy says no other vaccine is currently safe for this age group, meaning, children. I'm not going to comment on this. That's beyond my knowledge, my medical knowledge. But this is what the claim is, that this vaccine is safe for children. And he says it's easy to stockpile and store and distribute because you don't need to freeze it. It can be in room temperature for 3 months. And he says that this is the cheapest vaccine available, and it's effective against different variants of the virus. And in addition to the CV research, they're also working on curing other diseases. He says that the Ocugen CEO wants to distribute this in the United States. Many of the current staff are ex-Pfizer employees and many other very smart people from the medical industry. So, yeah, some good information here. Okay, so here's another DD. This is a bearish DD. So, let's see what the bear case is for this stock. Alright, so he says that the FDA was not willing to approve this vaccine for emergency use in the United States, which is kind of a red flag. I don't know why, Moderna and Pfizer and J&J got the okay, but this didn't. Maybe it's bureaucracy, or maybe it's because it's just not a good, reliable vaccine. And he says it was only 83% effective, so it's not as effective as some of the other vaccines. There is too much competition for this company. He says there's a new biotech company every day. One of their biggest competitors is Halozyme Therapeutics, ticker HALO. I mean, I'm not really going to get into the DD of Halozyme, but he pretty much argues that Halozyme blows Ocugen out of the water, and you should probably go with Halozyme instead. Financials are not that bad. They actually beat the last couple of quarters, and the last quarter was right on the money. The estimate was 2 cents, and the actual EPS was 2 cents. So he says, in conclusion, he recommends that people stay out of it because the volatility is too high, and this stock is just running on hype. They're too late in the US market to make any money here. And if there is any good to this company, it would be from their gene therapies for curing blindness and other diseases. So, good information here. Very good information. So we have a bull case and a bear case now. The bull case is that it's almost done being developed. It's in phase 3 of clinical trials and soon to be approved and on the market. And there's a lot of countries that are waiting to get this vaccine. And the bulls believe that now countries like India are really going to buy a lot of these vaccines, and the company's going to make a lot of money. Now the bear case is there's a lot of competition that's already ahead of Ocugen. Now, why go with this company if there's tons of other companies that are way better? The bear argument is that this is a hype train, all speculation. There's not really too much fundamentals behind it. And I would kind of have to agree with that, honestly. You guys know me. I don't like investing in speculation. I like to put my money in stuff when there's an actual product on the market and it's being sold and revenues are coming in. And this bear makes a point, honestly. I don't see why you wouldn't just go with Moderna or Pfizer or J&J, unless I guess you really believe in this gene therapeutic stuff. I can't really speak too much on that because, again, I'm not a medical expert. But it doesn't really seem like they're focusing on their gene therapy that much. They're prioritizing their CV research. Let's take a look at the short interest. All right. So as of April 15th, there is an 18% short float on this stock. So about 1/5 of this stock is shorted. Probably less now after today. It appears that today we had a short squeeze, or at least a gamma squeeze. So it's probably not 18% anymore. Maybe more like 10. That's just a guess. That's just my opinion. But this does have a very high short interest. That is one reason why that a lot of apes, a lot of investors like this stock. And I will say that you should never invest in a company just because of the short interest. You should invest in a company because you believe in the fundamentals and you think it's a good company. And the short interest is just a benefit to that. But you should never invest in a company for the sole purpose of short squeeze. So, yes, this company does have very high short interest. Let's take a look at some articles from Investor Place. It says, if you have Ocugen stock, now is the time to take profits. I agree. So this article argues that the vaccine will not be offered in the US. And this is true because even if it does make it to the US, like 40% of the population is vaccinated already. So by the time this makes it on the market, probably like 60-80% of us are going to be vaccinated. So really, how many people are going to take this vaccine by the time this makes the market, if it even does? And they use the same argument that Pfizer, Moderna, they're more effective and safer. This article says the same thing. Despite Covaxin news, Ocugen stock remains a long shot for US use. It says OCGN stock investors bought the rumor, may buy more on the news. So what we saw today was, I would say, buying the rumor, because it said that the vaccine was potentially effective against different variants of the virus. I don't like that. I want it to be confirmed that it's effective against different variants, not potentially effective. I mean, hey, more risk, more reward. In summary, the bulls are really relying on this to make it big in India. You know, India is a huge country. I believe it's about 1.5 billion people in India. And every other country that is going to potentially use this vaccine is relatively small. Maybe not Iran, but the thing that everyone is hoping for is that this makes it big in India. So pretty much the success of this company and this vaccine kind of depends on India. You know, the Western countries aren't using this, and the other countries that have approved this are relatively small countries, and they're not going to be purchasing many of these vaccines. And remember, this is still in trial. This is not released yet. This is not for market yet. Personally, this is too much speculation for me. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting my money in this. Maybe potentially, if or when this hits the market and you start to see that countries are buying this and it's actually making some money, then yeah, then I would consider maybe putting my money in it. But I just can't see myself putting money on speculation like this. And like I said, at an RSI of 81, you guys should be thinking about selling here. I have no doubt this is going to come down at some point. Like I said, maybe not tomorrow or the next day, but very, very soon this thing is going to come pulling back. If you guys were lucky enough to get in before this huge run, like if you got in at the bottom, like at $6 or something, even $10, please sell. Please sell, please sell. Take your profits. Even if you're bullish, take your profits. Re-enter later. For those of you who are not in the stock and are thinking about it, please don't do that. Please do not do that. Please do not FOMO into this stock. You're going to get burned. You're going to be bag holding. Please do not FOMO into this. You've seen, you know, a lot of people already get burned on GME and Microvision, and the same thing is going to happen here. Please do not FOMO into this. Just wait for a pullback. It's coming. Just wait for it. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And if you enjoy my content and want to support my channel, please check out my Patreon. And just a reminder, I am giving away this Xbox Series S. The contest ends on Friday. If you want to enter the contest, check out the video, link in the description down below. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. Not financial advice. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.